I don't know if you guys been following the ChatGPT thing. 2 days ago now, it released GPT-5. Also did an interview. The interview was one of the most interesting ones I've seen in a while. I'm not gonna lie. The big takeaways was like, he thinks now is the best time than ever to start your own business, which is I kind of agree with, because like you literally can put something in ChatGPT, it does it. You can ask ChatGPT, yo, best business idea 2025, it'll do it. Anything, it'll do it on the spot. It creates stuff in less than 10 seconds, right? The way we know traditional jobs, like go to college, do 4 years, get a job, that's gonna be over in 5 years. College is damn near useless unless you're trying to be a nurse, doctor, like engineer, something in that field. And even engineering is tech-oriented. ChatGPT can handle it, like something with coding. Interesting stuff, some scary stuff. One thing I saw was this, Sam Altman, there's never been a better time to start a company. If I were 22 right now and graduating college, I'll feel like the luckiest kid in all of history. There's never been a more amazing time to go create something totally new.
22 right now and graduating college, I would feel like the luckiest kid in all of history.
Why?
Because there's never been a more amazing time to go create something totally new, to go invent something, to start a company, whatever it is. I think it is probably possible now to start a company that is a one-person company that will go on to be worth like more than $1 billion, and more importantly than that, deliver an amazing product and service to the world. And that is like a crazy thing. You have access to tools that can let you do what used to take teams of hundreds. And you just have to learn how to use these tools and come up with a great idea.
I mean, he is right, but I think, of course, there's positive and negatives to it. But if you think about it, in the next 10 years, there won't be a new business. Because if you see even the stock market, there's a bunch of new like AI businesses and stuff, right? In the next 10 years, there won't be a new business that ChatGPT doesn't have his hands in to some capacity. That's pretty crazy to think about. At some point, the owner asked ChatGPT, yo, is this a good idea? And another dangerous thing is we might get to a point where like world leaders, they start using ChatGPT to decide major decisions, which is kind of crazy.
Yesterday was the day Sam Altman asked his ego this 3-word question: what have we done? Because yesterday was the day the human intelligence monopoly officially ended with the long-awaited release of OpenAI's GPT-5, the first AI model to outperform biological humans, or at least that's what the hype engineers at OpenAI want you to think. Not everybody is falling for it though. That simple bench score was just a rumor, and in fact GPT-5 is actually in 5th place. GPT-5 failed to beat Grok on the ARC AGI benchmark, an important benchmark that was conveniently left out of yesterday's announcement. It also underwhelmed the betting markets, and OpenAI is no longer the favorite to have the best model of 2025. Worst of all though, people found numerous problems with OpenAI's own charts, which really shouldn't happen when you have PhD level intelligence in your pocket. That makes GPT-5 special is not that it's a bigger, smarter model, but rather it unifies multiple models, like fast, reasoning, routing, etc., to pick the right tool per task without the end user needing to think about it. In many ways, GPT-5 feels more like a consolidation and cost reduction effort after they spent the last year panic shipping a bunch of stupidly named models to justify the $200 Pro plan. Speaking of cost though, GPT-5 is priced at only $10 per million output tokens, and that's a great deal compared to Claude Opus 4.1, which will burn a hole in your wallet at $75 per.
Bro, these tech companies are fucking crazy. Yo, I always wonder, like, dog, at what point is it like, all right, okay, like, low-key, we wildin', like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, let's slow it down a bit. You know, let's just all go back to 2016, 2015. Let's just chill. You know what I mean? Let's chill. These motherfuckers are trying to do, like, world takeover. Trying to get bigger and bigger and make more money off it. Like, it's crazy.
Altman says GPT-5 is like having multiple PhD level experts in your pocket. But one of the funniest parts of their announcement is that their benchmark graphics were presented with a y-axis that doesn't make any sense. And there can only be 2 possible explanations for this error. One, they vibe charted with GPT-5 and it doesn't actually have PhD level intelligence. Or 2, they were trying to be intentionally misleading. What's even better is that GPT-5 is supposed to have lower deception rates, but then someone or something tried to deceive us with the y-axis on the deception benchmark. And that's kind of embarrassing for a $500 billion intelligence company. But if you're a programmer, the biggest question is whether or not GPT-5 can code a Svelte 5 to-do app with runes. Many models have come close, but none have succeeded. I put GPT-5 to the test and was stunned to see that it generated beautiful looking Svelte code and did so very quickly, far faster than any other reasoning model. At first, I thought I was working with a PhD PhD level Svelte developer, but I would soon be disappointed after running the code and getting a 500 error as the UI. What's troubling is that GPT-5 used the right syntax, but tried to use a rune in the template, which is not allowed. GPT-5 is supposed to have fewer hallucinations, but it hallucinated its own rules for using runes. However, it did redeem itself when I asked if it knew what was wrong with its code, at which point it figured it out and fixed it. And the end result is a functional app that has a very nice looking UI. I also had it build a flight simulator game with Three.js, which turned out pretty bad, but the tall guy from Cursor said it's the smartest model they've ever used. Unfortunately though, I don't think GPT-5 is going to take my job or euthanize me anytime soon, because it's clear at this point that the real power comes when you combine these new AI tools with existing technologies that you already know and love.
I still think the fact that you can type in what type of game you want and they can make it in less than 10 seconds, that's insane to me. Even if the shit doesn't work, it's gonna work in 2 to 3 years, maybe less, you know what I'm saying? So the fact now you don't have to go to school for coding. You could just type in like, boom, I want this game. I saw this comment he made. Sam Altman says a kid born today will never be smarter than AI.
A kid born today will never be smarter than AI. Ever. And a kid born today, by the time that kid like kind of understands the way the world works, will just always be used to an incredibly fast rate of things improving and discovering new science. They will never know any other world. It will seem totally natural. It will seem unthinkable and Stone Age like that we used to use computers or phones or any kind of technology that was not way smarter than we were. You know, we will think like how bad those people of the 2020s had it. Yeah, like I want my kid to think I had a terrible, constrained life and that he has this incredible, infinite canvas of stuff to do. That is like the way of the world.
This is a serious question, but I want to ask it with a lighthearted example. Have you seen the bunnies that are jumping on the trampoline?
Yes.
So for those who haven't seen it, maybe it looks like backyard.
Yeah, look, this video right here is AI. I saw this. This video right here is AI, right? A couple years, you won't be able to tell the difference between what's real and what's fake. It's crazy, bro. But look at this.
Footage of bunnies enjoying jumping on a trampoline. And this has gone incredibly viral recently. There's a human-made song about it. It's a whole thing. People reacted so strongly to it. It was maybe the first time people saw a video, enjoyed it, and then later found out that it was completely AI generated. In this time travel trip, if we imagine in 2030 we are teenagers and we're scrolling whatever teenagers are scrolling in 2030, how do we figure out what's real and what's not real?
I can give all sorts of literal answers to that question. We could be cryptographically signing stuff and we could decide who we trust their signature if they actually filmed something or not. But my sense is what's going to happen is it's just going to like gradually converge. You know, even like a photo you take out of your iPhone today, it's like mostly real, but it's a little not. There's like it's some AI thing running there in a way you don't understand and making it look like a little bit better. And sometimes you see these weird things where
The moon.
yeah. But there's like a lot of processing power between the photons captured by that camera sensor and the image you eventually see. And you've decided it's real enough, or most people decided it's real enough. But we've accepted some gradual move from when it was like photons hitting the film in a camera. And, you know, if you go look at some video on TikTok, there's probably all sorts of video editing tools being used to make it better than reality. Look back. Yeah, exactly. Or it's just like, you know, whole scenes are completely generated, or some of the whole videos are generated, like those bunnies on that trampoline. And I think that the sort of like the threshold for how real does it have to be to consider to be real will just keep moving.
So it's sort of a education question. It's a people will.
Yeah, I mean, media is always like a little bit real and a little bit not real. Like, you know, we watch like a sci-fi movie. We know that didn't really happen. You watch like someone's like beautiful photo of themselves on vacation on Instagram. Like, okay, maybe that photo was like literally taken, but you know, there's like tons of tourists in line for the same photo and that's like left out of it. And I think we just accept that. Now, certainly a higher percentage of media both will feel not real. But I think that's been the long-term trend.
So he's basically saying most shit's already fake, so why not just go all in? Yeah, I don't know. This dude's wild.
A lot of things we could do that would like grow faster, that would get more time in ChatGPT, that we don't do because we know that like our long-term incentive is to stay as aligned with our users as possible. And But there's a lot of short-term stuff we could do that would like really like juice growth or revenue or whatever and be very misaligned with that long-term goal. I'm proud of the company and how little we get distracted by that, but sometimes we do get tempted.
Are there specific examples that come to mind? Any like decisions that you've made?
We haven't put a sex bot avatar in ChatGPT yet.
That does seem like it would get time spent.
Apparently it does.
I'm gonna ask my next
Oh,
question.
he was dissing Elon. Okay.
It looks like we're going to have a significant acceleration in growth on the business side. The consumer side will keep growing very strong. Like at this point, we have we got to keep working hard to earn the right to keep this, but a pretty good lead on the consumer side. On the business side, I think we'll see very strong growth from here. We've prioritized the consumer side first because we think that is like a very valuable thing to get. But now we'll try to really grow at the same rate on the enterprise side.
He's good at just giving just enough information to where you still don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Wait, ChatGPT OpenAI is reportedly seeking a valuation of 500 billion. Gosh. Is there any trillionaire companies? Yes, several companies are worth over $1 trillion. In fact, there's multiple big companies, primarily in tech sector. So Apple, Microsoft, I've never heard of this. Oh, oil, okay. It's an oil company. Alphabet, Amazon. AI is probably the next one, or ChatGPT is probably the next one to be a $1 trillion company. Damn, that's crazy, bro. But yeah, that's what's going on there. It's interesting the way the world's going.